Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Smith.
And I'm Jane Kim. On Park Update this week, midterm election results are in.
City firefighters are honored for their life-saving efforts.
New winter parking rules are coming into effect.
These stories and more just ahead on The Update. Well, now that all of those engaging political TV ads are behind us and the votes are in, St. Louis Park voters contributed to the re-election of Governor Mark Dayton, U.S. Senator Al Franken, and the election of Steve Simon as Minnesota Secretary of State. Hopkins resident Cheryl Joachim won the State Representative District 46B seat vacated by Steve Simon, and Ryan Winkler retained his seat as State Representative in District 46A. There were no city or school board contests on the ballot this election cycle. You can find more election results by visiting the city website, stlouispark.org, and the Minnesota Secretary of State website, www.sos.state.mn.us.
New winter parking rules will be in effect for this upcoming snow season. Like many neighboring communities, St. Louis Park will move to a snow emergency system. The city will declare snow emergencies and will announce the time that they begin. While plowing operations will stay the same, the city will be able to notify residents several hours in advance of a storm using various communication tools through the snow emergency declaration. Once the snow emergency is in effect, all vehicles must be parked off the street until your street has been plowed. The city will use a 3-inch snowfall as its guide for declaring a snow emergency. When snowfall predictions are 3 inches or more, or if you observe 3 inches of snow on the ground, plan to move your vehicles off the street. There are many ways you can know if a snow emergency is in effect. For snow emergency information, call the Winter Parking Hotline at 952-924-2180 for a 24-hour recorded message. Sign up for the city's Park Alert citizen notification system at stlouispark.org. The Park Alert system lets you choose how you would like to be contacted, including text messaging, email, cell phone calls, landline calls, or all of the different options. The notification system automatically calls all phone numbers that are listed in the white and yellow pages, but signing up allows you to choose the most convenient option for you. Use the My St. Louis Park app, which gives push notification alerts to smartphone users. The app will display a notification announcing the snow emergency and has multiple services, including allowing users to submit service requests to the city. Visit the iTunes or Android store today to download the app and search for My St. Louis Park. You can also sign up for snow emergency email alerts on stlouispark.org. Finally, the city will announce snow emergencies on the city website, social media sites, the winter parking hotline, and the local media. If you have any snow plowing questions, call Public Works at 952-924-2562 during regular business hours.
Several St. Louis Park firefighters were honored at the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office annual tribute to extraordinary citizens recently. Firefighter Eric Bakken, Captain Paul Rosholt, Firefighter Tim Smith, and Chief Steve Coring were presented with awards of merit by Hennepin County Sheriff Rich Stanek at ceremonies in Plymouth on October 23rd.
On November 21st last year, there was a report of a vehicle in a pond. When St. Louis Park Fire Engine Number 1 arrived, there were 2 individuals in the pond, and they were yelling that children were inside of the submerged vehicle. Firefighters Eric Bakken and Tim Smith swam to the submerged vehicle. Eric Bakken continually tried to submerge himself to get down to the vehicle in an effort to perform a rescue, but he was unable to do so. He did this even though he was not wearing the gear designed for the frigid water. Meanwhile, Tim Smith brought 2 adults to shore. Then Captain Paul Rosholt swam out, opened one window, and smashed out another underwater. Another firefighter, Lieutenant Dan Yalkill, arrived. Yalkill, Rosholt, and Smith worked together to get the 5 children out of the car. They improvised a swift rescue system that involved being pulled to shore by a tether. It was the quickest way to get the children out of the freezing water. We know that the outcome was tragic. 2 young children could not be saved on that day, despite the heroic efforts of these first responders, but we are so thankful that 3 children were rescued and survived because of their efforts. All of these rescuers put themselves at great risk. They displayed remarkable courage and teamwork. Thank you.
In accepting the awards, one of these extraordinary first responders remarked they were just a small cog in the overall rescue operation. It is true, as there were many personnel on scene that day. In my opinion, these men exhibited the extra margin and are indeed remarkable.
City Hall and the Westwood Hills Nature Center will be closed on Tuesday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. You can still drop off your utility bill even though City Hall is closed. A drop box is located at the south parking lot entrance to City Hall. Even though it's a holiday, city staff from police, fire, facilities maintenance, and operations and recreation will be on the job. We give our thanks to all military personnel who have served our country.
Each year, Minnesotans overwhelm us with their generosity on Give to the Max Day. Last year, you helped raise more than $17 million for Minnesota organizations in just 24 hours. Help us ignite generosity again for this year's Give to the Max Day. Support your favorite cause and those St. Louis Park organizations close to your heart with a donation on November 13th. Just search for your organization on givemn.org and donate with a credit card. No registration or setup is needed.
Since 2002, the St. Louis Park Community Foundation has awarded over $400,000 in grants to not-for-profit organizations. This year at the Community Foundation Give Back Day, the St. Louis Park Community Foundation awarded several $1,000s in grants on Saturday, November 1st at the Park Tavern.
The St. Louis Park Human Rights Commission is seeking nominations for the 2014 Human Rights Award. The Human Rights Award recognizes individuals, groups, organizations, or businesses that have made an outstanding contribution toward increasing understanding and cooperation between people of different backgrounds in St. Louis Park. Nominations will be accepted through Monday, December 1st. Go to stlouispark.org for the guidelines and nomination form.
Pumpkin recycling is free and is good for the environment. Advanced Disposal has started curbside collection of pumpkins and will continue collection until the week of November 24th. Simply place pumpkins next to yard waste bags or branch bundles on their regular garbage collection day by 7 a.m. If pumpkins are bagged, please remember to use compostable bags and limit the weight to less than 40 pounds per bag. Organic waste customers can place pumpkins inside their cart along with yard waste. All candle wax, paint, and decorations must be removed. Paint and pumpkins cannot be accepted. For more information, contact Advanced Disposal at 763-786-7723.
The city has an employment opportunity for a warming houses facility attendant. Deadline to apply is November 21st, and you may view the full job description and apply online at stlouispark.org/employment.html. Also, City Hall currently has openings for volunteer receptionists for the front desk from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. Volunteers can work one or more shifts each week or can be on an on-call basis. No experience is necessary. The volunteers should have a strong aptitude for customer service and a friendly attitude. Please email Laura Smith at lsmith@stlouispark.org. Hey, the voting's not over. It's time to vote in St. Louis Park Magazine's Best of Annual Reader's Choice Survey. Don't miss your chance to vote for your favorite shops, restaurants, people, hotspots, and more. Take a look at this year's voting rules, guidelines, and the full list of categories at slpmag.com. Votes will be accepted through November 15th. And I approve this message. Just ahead, Jane has events for the young and young at heart on Generations.
The St. Louis Park High School Theater presents Xanadu, a tongue-in-cheek homage to the 1980 movie. Weekend performances will be at the high school on November 14th to 16th and November 21st to 23rd. Friday and Saturday performances will be at 7 p.m. and Sunday performances will be at 2 p.m. Tickets are available at the door. The St. Louis Park High School is located at 6425 West 33rd Street. The next Alzheimer's support group is scheduled to meet on Monday, November 17th from 3 to 4 p.m. The group is free and is open to caregivers of Alzheimer victims, family members, and friends. Lennox facilities are open to members of the senior program. The woodworking shop is open when supervised from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to noon. The area will have available power and hand tools. The computer lab is also available, open on Fridays from 9:30 to noon. Individuals can use the computers to check their emails, play games, and explore Google. If you want to learn more about helpful programs, applications, and equipment for your computer, the Computer Buddy Club meets on Tuesdays from 1 to 3 p.m. St. Louis Park City Hall Community TV Coordinator John McHugh We'll help answer your questions. For more information about any of the programs and to register, call 952-928-6444.
The St. Louis Park football team finished the 2014 season they can sure to be proud of last week. The Orioles broke a school record for most points scored in one game on October 21st during a Section 5A quarterfinal game against Bloomington Kennedy.
And the game is finally over.
Geez, it feels like New Year's Eve.
Exactly.
You might see me singing Old Lang Syne.
Exactly.
They defeated the Eagles 74-41 to advance to the section semifinals against the number 2 seed Minneapolis Southwest. Junior Trenton Stafford had a remarkable game against the Eagles, rushing for 282 yards and 4 touchdowns, with an additional 3 receiving touchdowns. The Section 5A semifinal game is where the Orioles season came to a close in a 55-33 loss. St. Louis Park couldn't recover from a 21-0 deficit early in the game, and star Trenton Stafford had to leave the game with an injury. Sophomore Jamin Smith had a great offensive game with 3 touchdowns. The Orioles saw much improvement from their 2013 season, in which they had a record of 0-9 and finished their 2014 season 5-5. Benilde St. Margaret's football team made it to the section finals this year, but unfortunately could not get by the top-seeded De La Salle Islanders, losing 70-33. Nate Berry was the offensive leader of the game with 158 rushing yards with 1 touchdown and 58 receiving yards with 1 touchdown. Benilde finished their 2014 regular season with a record of 5-5. St. Louis Park area runners finished a very strong 2014 regular season. Benilde St. Margaret's May Fullerton placed 7th in the Section AA Championship meet, which qualified her for the Minnesota State AA meet, which will take place this weekend. Benilde St. Margaret's girls team finished in 6th place, while the St. Louis Park girls team placed 8th. St. Louis Park boys runners finished 10th out of 13 teams at the Section 6 AA meet, with Benilde St. Margaret's just behind them, finishing 11th. That's your Park Sports Update. I'm Katya Dragotis.
Well, that's it for this week's Park Update. Thank you for watching.
Now be sure you take some time to get out there and experience life in the park.